time. Ravi, good performance. Anyone who want to say something?
Thank you very much.
anyone who, Asita, you want to say something on these mechanisms? Okay, Laila has said Microsoft Teams and WhatsApp. Yes, very good. So Laila is endorsing what Ravi has said. Anyone else sharing some? Dimple?
So, I mean, definitely, I mean, what I agree with what everybody's saying. I mean, we have Microsoft Teams and WhatsApp and Zooms. I mean, I work for an international school, so it's slightly different because we have teachers who are actually teaching students online, and there is obviously a clear output in terms of teaching and learning that's happening between students. And of course, I think parents are, if they feel that their children are not learning, then they're the first ones who are going to come forward and say, hang on a second, what are you doing as the school? We've been paying fees and you aren't doing a job that you're supposed to do. So in that sense, we have that mechanism in place. In terms of, I would say, our central support functions like HR, finance, and all the other departments that don't really have a student-facing role, for them, it's based on trust. It isn't that we have something in place in terms of, what is our, how are we monitoring them? It is entirely based on trust. And again, in this, I mean, I think, what we are trying to talk about is also how things have changed in terms of maintaining connection, increased human interaction, and what that means in terms of our role as HR. I think I'm quite interested in finding more about that, because when you're working in an organization, it's quite clear when you're doing a performance review and you can assess and you can judge that people are really working. However, when people are at home, you tend to question that. Are they really working? But where does that trust, and again, because we are in a different age now, we as HR, we have to develop new ways of working remotely, because that could be the new norm. What are the policies to support working from home? Flexible employee schedules. These are things that will be coming and will be the new norm. And what are we going to do then?
Right. Dimple, there are two things. The question which you have asked, or which you have said, what are the mechanics to work, as you said, the central support or non-teaching staff? In our first seminar, we have discussed about the physical preparedness and psychological preparedness working from home. And we did touch upon all these points. And there was another principal from another international school, and she shared a very good kind of learning. And I think Malavan can send you the videos if we have. So you're going to have some material. On the other hand, what you have said, the second question, which is more like the trust thing. Yes, trust is an important factor for sure. But at the same time, if we have any kind of KPIs and the tools and mechanism, it would help us to kind of having a better performance appraisal. It would help us to have a better kind of performance management system. Yes, that's a new norm that people should start working from home. But at the same time, there is a productivity issue. There is an issue of quality. So not only working from home is a question right now under discussion in many organizations. They want to see the performance, like on-time delivery, delivery with quality, delivery with some value addition. So therefore, we wanna see how the other companies, they have kind of instituted some system. I'm fortunate to talk to a couple of people, and they are using quite a robust kind of system, where they're gonna have a communication log, where they're gonna have a daily their kind of report in terms of what they have done during the day, and they are sharing with their line managers, where the line managers they have different KPIs in order to manage their teams. So I think quickly people have come up with new norms. And also some of the companies in Qatar, when they were having this remote working thing in their company, or they're going to start this, they made a protocol while working from home. What time you need to check in or what time you need to log in, what are the things you can do, how you're going to use MS Team, how you're going to use WhatsApp. So I think companies, because of the need, companies, they've come up with the system very quickly. Dimple, I hope I've tried to answer your question.
Yes, Hassan, thank you.
Okay. Lena want to say something. Lena, you want to say, or shall I just read what you have written? Lena, okay. She's saying we have opening, something to well and closing, okay, mitigation with all our line manager, okay, fine, meetings. So I think that she's also endorsing what we have discussed. Anyone who want to say something on this? Because I feel this is the way HR can add more value in this as well. Although 6 or 7 weeks are already passed, but still we can help our company to gather this data and rather to analyze this data. And I think being as an HR, our role is to more on the have an analysis on this data. Sarvin, I can see your mic is open. You want to say something? Okay, no issues. Let's continue with our kind of slides. Okay. If you ask me on this slide, I would suggest that we need to be more closer to the business, more interaction, understanding business leaders' need, and even helping our business leaders how they can work with their staff, how they can help their staff to do better. Because if we are able to support our business leaders, in a way we are helping the organization. So now we need to think more like a business support rather HR, a typical HR function, which is more like just to implement the policies and procedures. Then the other point is, this is a good time if we do our data analysis well and we have good information available with us. We can also do some cost efficiency, and the people who are underperformance or their performance was not consistent or they have they are not doing well. So perhaps the company can also think to lay off them. I'm very blunt on this because this is the way you can offload certain people which are not ready to take their load. And basically, there is another thing what I've seen in one of the organization. They have done a lot of their internal videos on e-learnings, on using different technology. Even I've seen people have made videos on how to use Zoom, how to use MS Teams, and all are internally developed videos. And people are using it, and even some of the policies they have worked on the kind of a process through videos. So it has helped them to understand better, and it has helped them to kind of having more productivity. And last but not the least, communication. We have to come up the communication style which suit to our organization. So there is no fixed model, but again, we need to work out how people can be more productive while sitting at home. And based on my research, every organization, they have come up with their own style of doing that. And even sometimes their CEOs, they do participate in these communication, they send the message, and they are very much close to their people, and they are trying to be as transparent as they can. Okay, last point is here, thinking outside of box. I think during this 6-7 weeks, what I have experienced myself and my interaction with others, I've seen most of the people, they have made so many what if scenarios. during this period, and even once they'll go back, what are the what if scenarios they can work on? So I would like to have some discussion. Like, have you developed what if scenarios? Not the full-fledged disaster recovery plan, but based on the situation. So let's have some discussion on this. What if scenarios? If anyone has developed.
Shall I?
Ravi, I'll take your later.
Okay.
Let someone else say something and then we'll move to Ravi. Asita, what if scenarios? Faisal, Tamir, anyone? We have two servants.
Yeah, I will tell you. Regarding
Yes.
the scenarios, when the coronavirus happened here in Doha, effect on 15th of March, no one was expecting that it will extend until 3, 4, 5 months. But we did see indicators when the government supported 3 months free of rent in most of the malls. In that time, as HR, we sit with the operation and we put a plan for short-term plan as 1 month, 2 months, up to 6 months plan, even after return back on hold the business on September or October.
Very
So
good.
we put some scenarios. If the situation is going every day worst, what we can do. And this is really what happened. They start to close the dine-in service in the restaurant as a phase 1. Phase 2, they start to close the malls itself. So we lose a lot of business. Then later on, they close even pickup service. If any of the customers, he go inside any restaurant to place an order, and they only approve or agree for the home delivery service only as of now. So we put like some scenarios, what we will do in this case, what we will do in this case. For us, we put some options like open vacations, unpaid vacation. It was the last phases, which is we go, last scenario for us, we go. So I agree with you about some cases and scenario to recover this negative period that we have.
And Tamir, thank you very much. You said you guys have worked out and developed a couple of scenarios. So the
Yes.
point is, how do you find those scenarios? Do you see whatever you guys have thought about it, you can implement a couple of things as well? Yeah?
Yeah. And for us, we have this experience because of the blockage happened. I was here even when the blockage happened here in Qatar.
Yeah.
And we face a lot of challenges like short
Yeah.
of food items, like some items not available in the market at all, some delay in the shipment. So
Yeah.
we set some priorities, that's what we have. And this is almost very close to what we see during the blockage. Because even
that's
now,
very good. Yeah,
yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, because even now you can see even the priority for the country here to get the food items, not for the restaurant business, for retail business. So you will find your shipment on the rank will not be in the priority. No, it will be number 2 or number 3 for
Okay.
clearance agents. This is
Okay.
one of the things like that.
Okay.
Even you will must be very flexible scenario about the vacation, because I will share with you that this moment a flight ticket going to Manila, Doha Manila, one way, it costs 5,000 real, which is you put your budget before that 2 ways, it was average from 2,000 to 2,500. So in that
Or
time, we have
maximum 3,000. Yeah.
maximum
Right.
3,000. My budget is from 2 to 2,500. This is minimum and maximum because we get a good rate due to the
Yeah.
high number of employees
Yeah.
that I have. So this also another of scenarios. Another scenarios for the people who are resigning as of now and they have to leave the country due to some other commitment
Yeah.
offers. How we can help them. You know, I am not saying our company is the best, but we was very flexible with them. We keep continue offer for them accommodations and food allowances, even they are stop working as a last working day. So we was very flexible, and that's make some of them to change their mind
Exactly.
and they cancel the resignation and they say no, we would like to continue at least 1 year more with you.
That's
You
the
know.
welfare part. So and Tamir, can you switch on your camera? Anyone who's kind of asking question, they can switch on the camera if they wish to. So Tamir, just switch on. Yeah, Tamir, you have said an excellent thing. And being an HR, basically what you have done, you have worked on their psychological aspect as well. Like even people have resigned, even people they want to go on leave, but you have given them a second option. You have helped them to kind of, work on a couple of other options, and that they feel, why I'm leaving this company? This company is very good. They've given us whatever we wanted. They have even given us, even I resigned. So somehow it is more like a retention practice. What you are saying, this is kind of a retention tool. Tamit, thank you very much. I think it's a very, very valuable addition what you have said. So let me go to Dimple. Dimple has raised her hand. Dimple, if you want to open your camera, please do so.
Sure, I'll do that. 1 second.
If you want that.
I have
Oh,
no.
thank you very much. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
So
I like the motorbike. Yes.
oh yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So definitely in these sort of challenging times, having a couple of if-then scenarios is definitely something that sort of all HR departments should do, because again, organizations face serious operational challenges, or have faced serious operational challenges over the last few weeks, going into remote sort of working, and because I'm working for a school, it's distance learning.
Yeah.
So what we have done, we've obviously, looked at cost management in terms of sort of how we deliver distance learning, essential safeguarding health and safety, legal and contractual obligations, what are our enrollment retention and new student acquisition.
Yeah.
We have staff, again, of course, we know that teachers are teaching from home and everybody's working from home. And we have had teachers wanting to go back home and working from home. And that is something, a lot of schools in Doha had actually stopped their staff from actually flying out.
They did.
And we as an organization actually said, if anyway you are going to be working remotely, if you can be at home in your home country with your family and work, doing the same kind of work, then there is no reason for us as an organization to not have you leave the country. So that is something that staff have really appreciated. And again, we are looking for us as an organization and as a school. I think our main focus is what our student enrollment is going to look like for next year. So we've done different scenarios. So there's a scenario 1 in case our student enrollment is at this number. Then we have scenario 2 and we have scenario 3.
Right.
We're looking at our entire budget. What does the staffing look like if our enrollment is at a certain number?
That's right.
We're looking at staffing right now in terms of what are the positions that where staff are really unable to do their jobs because we've moved to remote learning, or remote working. What is our staff sort of at 50% of their capacity? As an organization, do we just cut their salaries, or do we look at the organization as a whole, and do we try and keep them on board and reduce salaries across the board? So these are the if-then scenarios that we have looked at.
That's very good. So, okay, there are, Dimple, before I just summarize, just a supplementary question. The people, those who have left, the employees, those who have left on leave to their home countries. So
they're not on leave. They're not on leave.
They're not on leave. They're working. So is there a kind of any cuts on the medical insurance or transportation allowance, or it's like the same terms and conditions?
We have not made any cuts so far.
Okay, fine.
No cuts so far.
Okay, thank you.
Because again, for this year, as an organization and as a school, because parents have paid school fees.
Yes.
So there is no reason for the organization to really cut back costs from staff.
That's right.
Of course, we are looking for next year. And next year, of course, that is going to change because our enrollment is looking lower than the expected.
Okay. So basically the moment the business model is changed, everything is changed. I understand. But the good thing is, Dimple, that's very, very good thing that you've been involved in everything. And that's the HR role, and that is the data analytics as well. And that is something where you can add value. For example, I asked just a knee-jerk question, and I did ask, based on the purpose, since they're gone, you should have cut this, because I've been hearing all this. But you kind of being an HR and you're kind of, then management and then all the leader in education kind of thing. So they have come up, no, I think that will be more like a psychological, and the reason is, since we have received the full fee, why we punish our people. And that's something I think where the HR needs to challenge the kind of decision makers as well. And if we don't do it, then we don't call ourselves HR. But anyhow, thank you very much,
The
Dimple.
leadership style, can I add something to that as well, Hassan?
Sure.
The leadership style has also, I think, evolved so much since since this pandemic. It's become inclusive leadership. And HR is part of that inclusive leadership,
That's
because
right.
HR is part of recruitment and
That's
part
right.
of the budget and everything else. So without having HR involved in these decision makings, an organization isn't going to survive.
Yes, I think, again, very good point what you have made. Most of the organizations are realizing this. I've been talking to someone in UAE as well, and the gentleman saying, Hassan, now I really need, I'm really feeling that our HR, we did not kind of work on our HR. Although you've been telling me to kind of having a very strong HR, but now I'm really facing this issue because I need to bounce back my ideas. I need to have someone where I can go and talk and we can see the pros and cons. But now, as a decision maker running a company of X million dollars, I'm really facing issue. I said, yeah, because at that time you feel like HR is a cost, but now you're realizing, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, you have endorsed actually this concept. Thank you very much. Ravi, you want to add something, boss? Ravi Saab?
Is it clear now?
Yes.
Are you able to hear me? Yeah,
Yes.
there are 3 points. One is we rotate the job opportunity. The job opportunity has been rotated. Team A will work on the first week, team B on the second week, team C on the third week, like that. So that everybody gets that minimum job, whatever is available right now, number one. Number two, we have given some local holidays. Instead of flying back to the country, we have given some local holidays so that any moment if the problem, it's recovered or anything, we can immediately start the closed units actually.
Okay. Okay, fine.
So
And
yes.
quickly on 3, if you have because we have now 20 minutes to finish. Anything okay, Ravi, let me just go to the next slide. So what we have discussed so far, we have discussed the current situation. We have discussed the current scenario, like during this situation, pandemic, what we are supposed to do and what actually HR is doing. And that has been basically endorsed by our HR colleagues. Now we need to go to the second phase, which is more like, how should HR be preparing for the future? And again, this is related to the discussion which we have had, and Dimple has said beautifully, like it all depends on the business model. So now being in HR, we have to focus more on business, not only the HR practices and HR policies and the routine HR function. That is there as well. But the moment if the business model is changed, then we have to change our HR strategy as well. So in order to understand what is our business model, again, we need to go back to the decision makers. We need to have a connectivity with the people who are in operations, people who are running the day-to-day management, and we need to get their information and then moving towards our focus on business. So even if you look at the text, it is very clear that what is the business issue, that is the answer to. And this short-term thinking needs to influence your long-term planning. So basically, we have to focus on how the business model is changed. At the same time, we got to be very careful on the productivity, because the question, once the things will go back to normal, a lot of question will be asked on the productivity. And in order to know the productivity, again, we can go to a kind of a matrix type of model, starting from that area, which is actually critical in helping the business. So there has to be more focus in order to get productivity and get those HR people, those who we believe they're best in our team. We should ask them to help those areas. Even if someone is doing, for example, at this point of time, maybe training and development, but that person is very good in terms of helping the departments or the businesses, so that person should be reassigned to those goals. So to me, it's a reassigning of our HR team in order to have the best productivity. Then the next point is, at this point of time, some of the HR and the organizations, they're thinking it's an employee market. Mean people are ready to work with us, even we don't motivate them, even we don't provide them the basic facilities. However, this is not the case. The case is you need to focus on your critical employees and top performers. Because if they leave you at this point of time, or they are demotivated, then it would be very difficult to have the same productivity which we were expecting at earlier stage. So therefore, we need to understand who are our key performers and who are the critical to the business. So once we go back, we should have this data and we try to re-motivate and kind of re-energize them before actually we take any decision in terms of cost cuts, in terms of anything which is related to cost efficiencies. So, and there is another point. We need to avoid our knee-jerk reactions and actions. And this is the role of HR. Once we go back, we need to evaluate the situation. We need to analyze the data. We need to get the information and then try to suggest something, not just to kind of, think as an instinctively, like, don't use our instincts a lot. So cut down our first feeling, do some analysis, and then try to work on some kind of, suggestions and work on some plans. Any thought process, any idea what you want to share once you go back, what you want to do?
Hassan, sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. Laila has a comment. Would you like it? Can you look into it, please?
Laila has comment. Let me see this. Decision makers own. Okay. Laila is saying, unfortunately, sometimes decision makers, owners are taking some aggressive decision, even though the HR is not approving it. It's a very good point, but Laila, being an HR, we have to have the right information before we go and talk to line manager and business owners. What I've seen before pandemic, sometime HR, they come up with a very beautiful, flowery ideas, a kind of everything is like, hunky-dory, but actually the business leaders and the people in finance, they need to have a very detailed analysis. They need to understand if HR is coming up with some ideas or some kind of fancy processes, how this would help the business. Would business be flourished after having this? The shareholders, they're gonna get their due share. So based on that, based on my experience and based on my discussion and research with others, where the HR has come up with more robust kind of ideas, excuse me, having with full information and full understanding, people were ready to listen. I'm not saying they will change their mind, but at least they are ready to listen. And sometimes you can influence their thinking with your good homework. Yes, but sometimes you have to take it. However, if something you need to implement, you need to control the damage. How are you going to control the damage? Line manager may not be interested, but we have to come up with a damage control mechanism. I tried to answer your question, Leila. Okay, house is open to talk about what we have discussed. Once we go back, how we gonna start implementing and working on things. Anyone
Hassan,
who wanna say something?
sorry to jump in. Hassan, one of the participants would like to look at the recruitment challenges caused by the pandemic.
I think, Malvan, that we will see if we have a team time afterwards, because that's something
sure.
which is not, I consider, as part of the outline.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Any comment? We have around 10 minutes.
Can I add something to that, Hassan?
Sure.
So I think there are, I mean, what you have said in terms of, when you go back and how, you're looking at sort of retaining your best talent and performance, all that is obviously quite important. But at the same time, I think, health and well-being has taken a front seat during this point in time. And while we are all sitting and working from home, this is the time where HR can really step up and introduce schemes that will really show employees that the organization is there, is supporting them during this hardship, because people are struggling. You have, if you're in a family, maybe you're okay, but we have a lot of single people in this country, and single people staying by themselves at home, maintaining social distancing, not allowing, not being allowed to go out. All that has an impact on their sort of mental well-being. And so that is something that I think as HR we need to really focus on, is again, I would say embrace humanity, and maintain connection, and again human interaction. And again, with what you've said about how you would retain your best talent, is looking at performance and potential for future growth. What is the contribution that they have had sort of during this time, to the organization? Of course, what are their knowledge and skills? What are the levels of engagement? There are a mix of factors that you will weigh in order to really assess whether, these are really key employees for you. So that's my kind of 2 cents on that.
Dimple, thank you very much. Let me share something. Thanks for reminding this. Some of the companies, when they were kind of reallocating their businesses, I was part of one of the proposals as well. When they were kind of reallocating their businesses during last 3-4 weeks, they have taken some money out for psychological well-being of their people as well, physical and psychological. Some of the companies, some of the very good companies in Doha, they have engaged some clinical psychologists in order to, first of all, understanding the mental health issues if they find. And once they are able to find some symptoms and issues, then making a strategy. Some companies they are doing for individuals, some companies they are doing for the groups. So that is very much on cards. How HR can do that? I think, again, I'll go back to my initial hypothesis or initial theory. Basically, if we do our analysis well, like for example, being an HR, if we have the kind of a communication log with people, we have some video kind of things, like people are happy or they're not happy or they're having anxiety. So we do the basic homework, then I'm sure the companies are ready to spend even money on these things. But if we don't have the full kind of understanding of the issue, then companies may not be able to kind of listen to us. So what you have said, I fully endorse. However, homework, we have to work on it. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Hassan. Just to add, I mean, again, something what you've talked about as, providing a clinical psychologist, again, that involves money. Something that leaders can do, which obviously, with the help of HR, could be just connecting with your teams on a weekly basis. And this is not even about work, how's work going, on a very personal level.
On a very personal
and it's not
level,
necessary that if I'm your line manager, I need to be contacting you. You could be from a completely different team and you could be contacting me, asking me, so how are you doing, Dimple? How are things with you? How's your family doing? Completely personal level. Another thing that HR could do is, again, on weekends. On weekends, what do people normally do? Nothing, because you can't really go out. How do you socially connect with your staff members to really bring them together? You obviously can't meet in big gatherings, but can you do something on Zoom? Can you organize some games? Can you organize a social event? All this kind of takes care of the mental and social well-being of an individual,
and Dimple,
without having to spend money.
Yes. And Dimple, there is one thing. I was reviewing the protocols of one of the companies. They have mentioned it. Being a line manager, you do need to talk to people about their family, about their issues before even you talk about work. So it is more like, how you start your meeting. So that's something which some of the companies they're following, but not many. Yes, and they don't need to spend any money on this. Yes, absolutely right. Thank you very much. Amina has a question. She has raised hand. Yes, please.
Hello, hi everybody.
Hello. Amna, would
Okay,
you
so
like to open your video, or you want to
yeah,
kind
sure.
of go ahead? Yeah,
No,
sure.
no problem at all. Okay.
Yes.
So I will just add a little thing which Dimple just said. So in terms of what we will do when this pandemic will end, we are currently doing some check-ins with the employees to just ask them how they are feeling. If there is any problem, they can just share it with us. And along with that, we have initiated one learning meet in which it's just a random like just normal topic which we circulate to every staff which they can relate to, and in the end of it's just some videos and some articles which they can just click and then read, and then they can provide us the feedback, what sort of feedback that how positive that affects, what are the positive things which helps them to learn, or is there anything else which they want to learn, we can share it with them. And I mean, this is a positive initiative which we thought that we will not be getting response, but that was a great initiative. And along with that, we did a by meet on over the Zoom. So it was just a good catch up with all our employees, whoever can join, and it was great. I mean, it was fun and interactive session, which we thought that employees will be frustrated that what is going on. I mean, HR is bombarding us with so much of information, but we were glad to see and hear that people really enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, there are more which we are doing, but I think this is the relevant thing which I can share it.
Thank you very much, Amna. Let me just share one of the studies which we have done last 6 weeks. We have taken two groups, one who were involved in their day-to-day business, and one they were on as a backup team. Because that company, they're kind of having backup team, which are like in isolation. So, and some people, they were doing their regular jobs. So we have checked their anxiety level, a basic anxiety level. So the people who were involved, they did not have any clue of anxiety. They were physically, mentally, fully involved. And those who were in the backup team, after third week, their level of anxiety was going up. Like, it was upwards trend. And we kind of, immediately suggested to the company, that very company, to kind of, engage them. Otherwise, your backup team will be idle. And once you need them, their anxiety level will not let them work, basically.
Yeah.
So what you have said, I endorse that. Maybe first week or first 10 days, people were having, oh yeah, it's more like, fun, and, we are not doing anything. But right after the first week, people were ready to contribute something. And they feel if they will not contribute, they may lose their skills, as well as they may lose their jobs as well. So it is more like, it's a balancing act. Thank you very much, Amna. Thank you very much. Let us kind of finish our last slide on this and see where we are. Okay. We have spoken about productivity. We have spoken about remotivation kind of thing. There is one more thing. Research says, I'm just kind of sharing that if we have to take care of our top performers and critical staff, because the other companies, for them, it's a good time to poach your people. So your competition is also, because everyone needs to grow. So everyone needs to survive. So if they know the good people around you or in your company, they can take them. So they can approach them. So we got to be very careful on this. Okay. What Dimple and Amna, you have said, these are some of the things basically you can adopt once you go back. Again, reinforcing the vision is one of the very important area, and especially the values. Because if you exercise those values during the pandemic, and during the people who were working from home, your employees can easily associate with those values once you go back and start working on it. Because they can see like what the company is doing. They have actually exercised, they have actually demonstrated during that time period. Then reinvestment, upskilling, which Amna has just spoken about it. Working environment, what else we can do, make them happy. And also, I think the last thing here is we need to work on our managers and leaders. So if something happens in future, or even nothing happens, they know how to be a good manager, how to be a good mentor. And during our last session, we spoke a lot on the mentorship. So if our managers are ready to mentor and coach their teams, I think HR has done a good job. And as Tamer has even said this, like during the last blockade, they have learned the lesson which they've used now. So, but it does not mean that we need to use these lessons during these tough times. We do need to use these techniques, tools, people management, how to mentor them, even during our regular working hours as well. With this, I finished whatever I wanted to share. Now the house is open for question answer. And although it's already 5:30, but still we can take more questions related to this topic. But if someone is having questions which are not related to this topic, please do contact with Malavan, and we may have another session only for those sessions. Malavan, it's over to you now.
Hey, brilliant. Okay, let's get the others to participate. I'm sure many would have questions. If you'd like to ask a question, you can just unmute the mic and please ask your questions.
Sir, good evening. One question. What would be the expected potential challenges for training and development?
Hey, that's
Asita,
good for me, Hassan.
Asita is a good big topic. We will discuss this at a length, because this is something which we need to see the holistic point of view. We will discuss.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else want to say something? Okay. Yeah, someone. Okay, Ravi has. Okay, Ravi said thank you. Ravi, don't go. We need to have one photo. So those who wanna have the photo, they can switch on their cameras. Otherwise, their names are there. But before that, anyone who wants to make any comment, any point? I hope you guys have kind of, we all have learned something. Okay, there is some question from Zahra. Shall HR update JDs after coronavirus? I think that's a very interesting question. If you ask, I would say you should wait till the end of this year, and you wanna update the job description. It's better to do it in 2021, because this end of December, you're gonna have a lot of information, and companies, if they need to cut down or they need to do some redundancies. So some of the functions, they're gonna be merged. So let this job description thing be taken as a project from next year, not this year. What do you think, Dimple, on this?
I agree with you, Hassan. I think it's a bit too soon to be making those quick JD adjustments right now, because again, as you go back, I mean, as we all go back, there are definitely going to be policy changes and huge culture adjustments. There will be new ways of working remotely. Again, I did mention these policies to support working from home. Employees will ask for flexible schedules. So things will change, and I think it's best to wait it out a little bit, assess the situation, and then design or redesign JDs at that point.
Yes, and your processes as well. Yes. So anyone else who want to say something? So let's switch on our cameras. Shamin is there. Shamin, how are you? Galaxy A70.
My goodness, Shamim, after a long time.
Faisal, anything Faisal you want to share?
Thank you, Hassan, and thank you for all the participants who have given the valuable info and thoughts on this subject. Even though initially we expected the measures which we have taken to remain temporarily, but today we expect many of these measures to be the new norm in the future.
Yes.
And as you have rightly said, our short-term thinking need to influence our long-term planning. This is what we had to look into basically. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tamir, where are you,
Thank
man?
you so much. Yes, thank you. It was very interesting. And as I'm totally agree with Dimple, because a lot of rules and regulations will be implemented. Work will be more flexible and they will have a lot of gray areas to be clear day by day. Every company will put update for her internal standards or internal SOP until to fit the new coming period, inshallah.
That's right. That's right. Anyone else? Amna, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's just that it was great to hear such a good thoughts shared by everyone. So yeah, I mean, it was great learning for me as well. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Amna. We have one more question before we go to, okay.
Do you want to give that question to Shamim? He's
Shamin,
been
you
quiet
want
for
to
too
say
long.
something? We have many questions for Shamin. Okay, Shamin, your question first.
No, in fact, this training was really, helpful. I was only listening. I was not making any comment. And I have written a lot of points here, what we can really do and what, services we can really add value to our company. So thank you so much. It was really wonderful. And, I got really good information. Really would like to say thanks to you and to Mr. Malavan.
Thank you very much. As we said, it was not a training, it was more like a discussion. And I thank you all. Just switch on your cameras. Let's have the photo. And Dimple, thank you very much for your, always for your good inputs and kind of be open. Asita is here as well.
Thank you.
So Amna, you have joined, I think, first time our seminar, right?
Yes. My boss recommended me, so I'm here. She recommended me to attend the training.
Oh, who? Can we know about your boss?
Zainab.
Zainab.
Zainab Razvi, yeah.
Malavan knows her, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Zainab Rizvi. Okay,
Yes.
okay, I understand. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Good,
Okay,
good,
brilliant,
yes.
brilliant.
So, cameras. All? No one? Okay, so Malavan.
Okay, let's go ahead. Do you want to click?
Yes, I think Malavan, you want to click? It's better this time.
Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. All
Tamir,
right.
your camera.
You
Okay,
already switched it off. We need your permission for that.
Oh,
For
did
what?
I? Oh my goodness.
You already,
Am I the
Tamir.
culprit?
because the host has stopped it.
Oh
So
my goodness.
Malavan. So
I thought I'm giving. Oh my goodness. I think I should go for.
Tamer, in the feedback, write about this. Malavan
Hassan.
has. Okay.
Okay, that's called scoring on the same side. By the way. Okay, I'm just starting the video for everyone. I thought it was done automatically. Sorry.
Malavan, we are running out of time.
Okay. I've opened everyone. Now I think they just have to accept.
Tamer, are you there?
You can take the photo to save the time. It's okay.
No, we will do it. So Malvan has given you all the permissions. Yeah, here. Good.
Okay.
So Malvan, please take the photo.
All right, bear with me. Okay, just keep holding on to your smile. Okay, smile. Okay, one more. Yes, done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we'll be emailing you the recording of this session along with the slides. Okay, please, if you'd like to if you have any other questions, just let us know and we'll do the best we can to answer.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.
guys.
Thank
All
you,
the
Malavan.
best.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Take care,
Good luck.
Dimple.
All right. See you.
Hey, wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.